Welcome to Seoul, everybody. We're in the capital of the South Korean Republic. My name's Alex. I'm a foreign policy analyst out of the Bay Area. I'm going to be living here in beautiful Seoul for the next couple months as part of a 10-month research journey. I'll be in South Korea, and then after that I'll be in Japan, and then Taiwan, and then Hong Kong, and then hopefully I'll have a little bit of time to visit Southeast Asia. I'm an aspiring foreign policy analyst with 5-6 years of field research experience. I'm currently here on a 10-month trip, writing 2 books and working on some projects. I'm going to be studying the politics and governance of East Asia and how it relates to the foreign policy around the world. God damn, the traffic's loud here. Anyways. Today we're on our way to the Korean War Museum. I have a private tour. Unfortunately, I won't be able to record that tour, but I'll be on my own after that, and I will be filming some of that. It's a fascinating museum. You get to learn a lot about the Korean history of modern time. Anyway, let's go. And it is hot and steamy here. Thank God it's not raining. I almost died like 5 times over the last week in the rain. My dumbass decided to wear slides all the time, and then it starts pouring rain and you get this slick rock on the ground, and it's not good. It's super dangerous. I ended up having to walk on the yellow strip like a blind person. But yeah, when it rains, this shit gets super slick. And I fell twice and almost fell a dozen times. It's rough. But anyway, don't wear slides if you're coming here in the summer. Summer's the rainy season here in Seoul. And if you want to not experience slipping and dying, don't wear slides in the rain like I did. I'm an idiot. Anyway, I'm going to wait 20 minutes to cross the street because the lights take forever here. So I lived in Poland off and on with my wife at the time for about 3 years. It gave me a lot of experience in a new country, new language. I don't remember barely any of it, but I do remember a few words, a few phrases. That opportunity was great. The marriage wasn't so much, but I'm happy it happened because it gave me so much research experience. Being fresh out of undergrad, you have to fight and claw for internships and jobs, even if you go to a school like UC Berkeley. So I was super fortunate to be able to fly during COVID and to be able to go and do research, and I don't take that time back for anything because I wouldn't be here in Korea. I wouldn't have been able to go to Japan if it wasn't for all that. But anyway, after we got divorced in 2022, the very beginning of the year, it was like right after Christmas, I wanted nothing to do with Europe anymore. So I went home. I was pissed off, angry, sad too, admittedly. My whole world turned upside down. I used to want to be a professor, sit in a classroom and teach kids. Not so much anymore. I want to be on the streets and do field research. That's where the real things happen. So you don't just read about shit, you go learn about it. Go talk to people, go learn about where they're from, learn about the problems you don't hear about in the news. And that's what's pivotal for people like me. You need researchers on the ground to actually learn and talk to people because, you know, once a book's printed, it could be 6 months out of date already. So being on the ground, doing field research, that's where you get the most up-to-date information. So guys, from 2018 to 2022, I worked as a research analyst and field researcher in Europe. As I was saying, during COVID, I was granted access to be able to travel. So that's pretty much the only reason I was able to get the job, because I was one of the few people that were allowed to travel. Airlines were shut down to Americans, to everybody. I mean, it was a crazy time back then. But 2018 to 2022, I specialized in European studies and research. I primarily focused on political extremism and the rise of the far right in Europe. Primarily Central Europe, but I did research all around. So I did field research in England, Belgium, a little bit in France, Moldova, Ukraine, Poland, Romania. There's got to be some others I'm forgetting. It was a very busy time. It was an amazing experience. I'm not supposed to film that. That's the embassy behind me. Just keep going this way. Actually, I'm going to put my camera down because there's a bunch of cops all of a sudden. I am by the U.S. Embassy. This is U.S. military behind me. See if they tell me to put the camera down. I'm just going to put the camera down. So guys, following my divorce in 2022, it was like right in the beginning of the year, I left Poland and decided to go home and then take some time off, and my best friends, group of us, decided to go to the Yucatan, and we had a great time there. I have some friends who live there, so we went and stayed. It was a awesome experience. Met some Colombian girls, went skiing in Tulum. We hit Cancun. We hit Cozumel, Carmen de Playa. It was a fantastic time of my life, and it made me get over that divorce real fast. After that, I went home, tried to gather myself. I knew I wanted nothing to do with Europe. Somebody's blasting a Korean version of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas right now. And it's July. So, yeah, anyway, I wanted nothing to do with Europe. So I decided, hey, I might switch my research focus, completely different region, and go Latin America. Because, you know, I'm part Mexican. I spent a little bit of time in Brazil, a little bit of time in Mexico, so I was like, hey, let's do this. I met some Colombian people. They ended up being fantastic. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna move to Colombia. Everything's cool. I'm gonna move to Colombia, switch my research focus to Latin America, you know, pretty much Central America, South America. And I was all ready to go move to Colombia. I had my flights booked, I had an apartment lined up, and then Russia invaded Ukraine. And, you know, remembering all the Ukrainian people I met while I was in Poland, it hit me right here, because it reminded me of, you know, family I had in Poland. You know, like I did consider them family. Babcia and, you know, all, you know, the cousins and the little kids. So it reminded me, like, Ukrainians and Polish people are super similar in culture and all that. So when I saw all the attacks in Ukraine, I was like, man, that could easily be my friends and family in Poland. So dropped the Colombia plans, and I ended up going to Ukraine. I spent about 2 months in Moldova and 2 months in Ukraine. It's probably the biggest thing I've ever done, like, in my life or with my life, besides maybe going to Berkeley and getting a degree from there. But this was way more meaningful. I helped with an NGO that got kids from Ukraine and got them into Europe, mostly in Moldova. But yeah, it was a very impactful time of my life. Spent 2 months in Moldova and about 2 months in Ukraine. Then I went home. And then when I went home, I was trying to decide what to do. I knew I didn't really want to be in Europe because everything reminded me of my prior relationship. So what I did, I'm going to pivot to Asia. Asia's always been really fascinating for me. It's a big black hole in my knowledge. So I thought, you know, this would be a perfect thing to do, is to go to Asia. I've been fascinated with Japanese culture, you know, post-war development in the region, the rise of China, the rise of this great nation of Korea. And since a young age, I've always been fascinated with North Korea, the DPRK. So I decided to switch my research focus to Asia. And next year, at the end of 2025, I'll be doing a second master's at the University of Trier in Germany. So I will be back in Europe. I'll be spending a year at the University of Trier, be traveling Europe a little bit. I hope to go back to Ukraine, visit some friends and colleagues. But yeah, I'll be in Trier for 1 year. And then the second part of the program is I get to choose Taiwan, Japan, and China. I get to choose. I'm interested in learning in China, going there, but with the political atmosphere the way it is there right now, I'm not really sure that's the greatest idea. So I'm either going to go to Taiwan, South Korea, or Japan most likely for that year. And you know, I've already spent a total of 5 months in Japan. So I'm comfortable in Japan. I know how the layout of things. My knowledge is vastly grown on the politics and culture there. But I'm not sure. Korea is an amazing place, and on this trip I will be going to spend the next 2 months in Korea, 3 months in Japan, 2 months in Taiwan, hopefully a little bit in Hong Kong, and a little bit in Southeast Asia. But the plan right now is to go the next 10 months in East Asia and hopefully Southeast Asia, and then next year do 1 year in Europe at that research project and my master's program. And then the year after that, study full-time and do research full-time in either China, Taiwan, or South Korea, or Japan. So that's the plan, but that's a long ways off. So for the next 8 to 10 months, I'll be working on 2 different books, and I'll be, you know, spending at least 10 months in this region. So I'm really excited. And if you want to join the journey, please like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna do Korea beyond the K-pop, beyond the barbecue. We're gonna go deep dive into the culture, the history, the politics. We're gonna learn about the division of the 2 countries, North and South Korea. We're gonna learn about the prospects for unification, the prospects for war. What would a war look like in 2020, whatever, 2030? Hopefully it never happens, but what would it look like? So if you want to deep dive into Korea and the East Asian region, join me for the next 10 months. 10 months, maybe longer, who knows? But my Germany program won't start until the end of next year. So I have over a year, if I want. I can stay in this region. So guys, if you'd like to help the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to help me out personally, you even want to just buy me a beer, cash at me. Money sign, alexayresshow. It's ALEXAYRESSHOW. I'll greatly appreciate it. So guys, please join me in these next 10 to 12 months as I travel the amazing region of East Asia, learning about the history, the politics, and the culture, going well beyond your basic travel vlogger. Sure, we'll eat food, we'll get drunk, we'll do all the fun stuff, we'll see some tourist sites, but for the most part, I'm here to deep dive, I'm here to really learn. This isn't just walking around seeing sights, okay? I want you to learn shit from my channel. The classroom abroad. While I learn, you're gonna learn. So let's do it.